People, understand one thing. No justification will transform your failure into success. Any excuse you bring up to justify your shortcomings will not change the fact that you failed. Are you trying to tell me you struggle to succeed because your father was neglectful, aggressive, rude, or violent? Is that what you want to use to explain your weakness, your defeat, on bullying? Do you want to blame your financial ruin on politics? Who are you trying to blame for your defeat and failure? Any excuse you give for your failure, it remains a failure. That's what we need to understand. My father married 8 times. I had an attempt of sexual abuse, financial struggles, and didn't have nice clothes like the other kids. But could all this be used to justify my failure? Yes or no? But Psalm 27 verse 10 says, "Though my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will receive me." When you take responsibility for your life, the first thing you'll have to learn to deal with is insecurity, because now you have no one else to blame. Now it's just you. And who are you going to blame now? They say that a bird, when it makes its first flight, knows more about courage than about flying. It has never flown before. What it knows is that it will jump out of the nest. It has no knowledge of flying, only courage. Many people are extremely insecure about making decisions. To fulfill your role, to deal with life, the demands, and the adversities you'll face along your journey, you need 2 things: strength and courage. I don't know about you, but for me, life demands this every day: strength and courage to continue this journey. At some point, in some situations, it will demand strength and courage from us to make decisions. I like this combination. What's the point of being brave but weak? What's the point of having courage but not strength? Having strength but no courage? Adversity is there for everyone. Do you think it's just a privilege of yours? No, dear. Today there are many people sick like you, many people without money like you, many people thinking about separating like you, many people who will leave here and go back home to deal with a drug-addicted child, with a husband who will come home drunk like you. There are many people today who don't know how they will pay their debt tomorrow, regardless of the amount. I need you to understand this. Many people have heard about dreams. Dream, dream, dream. You have to dream. But when will your dream turn into a goal? At some point, your dream has to become a goal. So, I need to understand if a goal is the same as a purpose. Let's put it this way. I need to understand that I can live a life of my purposes and God's purposes, or I can live a life of God's purposes and my purposes. I have a somewhat close relationship with Pastor Josue Goncalves, and once, talking to him about his ministry, he told me, "Cláudio, to be honest, I saw that no one in Brazil was talking about family, so I decided to talk about family and asked God to bless my ministry." And I said, "Man, mine is totally the opposite. I never asked God to talk about family. God put me to talk about family, and it became my purpose." For Josue, he took his purpose and asked God to bless it, and it happened. For me, God gave me a purpose, and I made it mine. So, I need you to understand that there are these 2 models, and many times you will find yourself within a purpose that God led you to, and you will live well with it, as it happened to me. In other cases, you can take a purpose that is yours and bring it to God, and God can approve it and make it happen. But I learned that dreams are those things I want. I want to graduate, I want to get married, I want to have a house, I want this, I want to do that. Wow, that's extremely cool. But goals are those things I will make happen. A dream doesn't come true unless it becomes a goal, or you will inevitably die wanting to achieve something you never achieved. When dreams become goals, things change. Mark 5 verse 25 says, "A certain woman was there who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years. She had suffered a great deal under the care of many doctors and had spent all she had. Yet instead of getting better, she grew worse. When she heard about Jesus, she came up behind him in the crowd and touched his cloak because she thought, if I just touch his clothes, I will be healed." Pay attention. What was her dream? To be healed or not? Yes. She tried the cure in the conventional way, right? She sought out doctors, did everything she could, and did it work? No, but she still wanted to be healed. That was her dream. But when did this dream turn into a goal? What she had was a crowd, because whenever someone needs something, or most times in the Bible will place a crowd as opposition. Bartimaeus wanted Jesus' attention. What was there? A crowd. They were bringing a paralytic to Jesus' house in Capernaum. What was in Jesus' house? A crowd. There will always be opposition, something that will oppose. That's how it works. What we see is a woman who saw the opposition and said, I will touch him. That's my dream, and my dream turned into a goal. And because it's a goal, I don't care about the number of people. I don't want his attention. I don't want to interrupt his procession. I just want to achieve my purpose. And I decided that if I touch him, I will be healed. What did she have? Faith. And she went and touched him. That's what's happening here. When she did this, she was healed because she did, not just wanted. Let me finish with one more well-known text, Luke 15, the chapter of the lost and found. The lost sheep, the lost coin, the lost son, everything lost. Falling into himself, he said, How many of my father's hired servants have food to spare? And here I am starving to death. I will set out and go back to my father and say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants. He is in a difficult moment and says, Here I am starving to death. While in my father's house, even the hired servants have food to spare. I will get up and go back to my father and say to him, Pay attention, everything being said is said as a future proposal. I will get up and go back to my father and say to him, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants. But all this is future. None of this brought forgiveness to the prodigal son, because he is saying, I will get up, I will say, I will do, I will go. Okay, all this is dreaming. I will lose weight, I will buy, I will study, I will pray. It's always, I will get up, I will do. It's tomorrow, next week. The more you delay acting on your dream, the longer it takes to come true. But when the next verse comes, the dream turned into a goal. So he got up and went to his father. I will get up and go. Nothing happened. He got up and went. Ready? There, the dream became a goal. And now, while still far off, the father saw him, because he went. The father saw him, ran to him, kissed him, embraced him. Bring the best robe, the ring, the sandals. Let's have a feast. You need to understand that the important thing is not whether you want to buy a house, improve your marriage. Maybe that's even important because it's the first phase. So, as a phase, dreaming is cool. You want to graduate? Great. You want to pass the exam? Cool. You want to seek intimacy with God? All right. But the question is, when will your dream turn into a goal? That's when things happen. But today, I want to leave you with the message of the dreamer. I don't know if you dream. I hope you dream. I hope you have big dreams. But know one thing. Big dreams require the dreamer to take on big responsibilities. Let's look at Joseph's story, a well-known story, but I want to highlight some very important points we need to consider, especially those who are dreamers, those who have dreams and big dreams. I don't know if you are a dreamer. I can tell you that I am a dreamer. I like to dream. Sometimes I find it hard to tell people about my dreams because sometimes I dream of something that seems absurd. I'll confess to you that I dream of driving a car I don't even have money to buy the wheels for, but I dream of driving a fancy car worth $150,000, $160,000, a beautiful Hilux. You might think, you dream big. Yes, I dream big. One day I saw myself inside that car, even though it was from the outside. I looked in and had such a beautiful momentary vision. It was a magical moment for me. So, I am a dreamer. I've always been a dreamer. A white wedding dress is a dream you might have. Maybe someone who already married a Prince Charming who turned into a frog will look at you and say, that man doesn't exist. No, my dear, dreaming doesn't cost anything. So, keep dreaming. Dream of a wonderful man, a prince, a warrior of God, a loving, caring, and kind man. Don't let anyone steal your dream. Dreaming is the first step,